Hello and welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for all things Atheist Sunday School.
Yep. Thank you for being here today.
That was terrible, Ruben.
Yes, welcome one and all.
Alright, so first we've got our new tradition, which nobody remembered but me probably. Is we each get to ask one question for 100 points. So far,
that's right.
Nobody's gotten any points, and I'd like us to be a little bit more realistic in our questions this time for everybody.
Okay.
So we'll start with Lawrence. What do you got? Questions for us for 100 points.
All right. While we wait for people to get in here.
Yes.
Okay.
100-point show.
All right. Which pirate was known as the Robin Hood of the Sea?
Henry Avery?
No.
James Taylor?
No.
Jimmy Buffett?
Fuck no.
I don't know. Is it Blackbeard?
No, it's not Blackbeard. God, no, it's not Blackbeard.
Is it Edward Teach?
Fuck off.
Okay, I really... Thomas somebody or other?
No. It's Sam Bellamy.
Sam! Damn it.
Black Sam Bellamy.
Alright, so nobody
Except
got
he
any
was
points for
white.
there. Ruben, it's your turn real quick.
Alright, my 100-point question is... In the video game Super Mario Brothers, in what level can you find the vine that brings you to a warp zone directly to the final zone of the game?
5.
1-3.
No, you're both wrong.
Damn, what is it?
It's 4-2.
4-2. Damn. Oh, I wouldn't have never remembered that.
Alright, what's your question?
Me neither. I've never played.
Chris?
Okay. How did... I think it was Hercules slay a Hydra?
Oh, fuck.
How did Hercules slay a Hydra?
Oh, I should
Yeah.
know this.
You should.
I really
well,
should.
cutting off its heads.
Right, but they just kept going back.
Yeah, they just kept growing back.
Yep.
Didn't he, like, stab it in the heart or something?
I don't know, maybe he suffocated it.
He used the Medusa's head to turn it to stone, I believe.
Well, that suffocated him.
Yeah. It could be. Could be. I think we just got a subscriber.
Hey,
So,
welcome
hello.
to the
All right,
show.
so now we're
Sam.
starting, and if I could give any points, I would give them, but I really don't feel like you guys got that.
Well, anyways, we're starting with Exodus.
Yes.
The most exciting book of the Old Testament, probably.
Do you think it's the most exciting?
What about
Well-
Ezekiel?
What? Numbers is more exciting?
No, Numbers is not more exciting.
Leviticus? Come on.
Ezekiel.
I mean, Ezekiel
know
has
what-
some interesting stuff in
I don't
it.
even know
but
what it is. I just looked at it in there and picked a page.
Wow.
I know.
Well, first I want to say thank you for 3 years and 3,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we're making it big.
Or
We're getting there.
we exist.
Yeah, we exist. Thank
People
you for
know
letting
about
exist.
us.
Yeah.
3,000 of them.
Yeah, I left a comment on like one of TJ's videos, and somebody was like, "Hey, I know you. I love your channel." And I was like, "Cool, thanks, guy."
Wow.
It's always nice to hear good
Yeah.
things.
Tell all your friends.
Yes, tell all your friends.
Good God. Oh no.
What?
I have to read 3.
Yeah, you do. It's not that long.
It's really not.
You know, it just makes it look longer in my book because it's here to there. Okay. Yeah, that still looks pretty long. But these
All right.
these are all relatively short.
Well,
So how many are we
So
doing today?
today we're doing Exodus 1, 2, and 3.
yeah. Last time we finished Genesis.
We did.
Rip in peace, Genesis.
We'll miss you all, those nice Egyptians.
Ripping pepperonis. No, they're gonna make a comeback.
Oh yeah, the Egyptians are definitely in Exodus.
But
Yep.
I mean,
They make
nice. When they were nice, and
Oh.
they're going to be nice.
For a short amount
I
of
said
time.
rip nice
For a
Egyptians.
short amount of time.
I think they're going to be
Yeah, the
jerks.
Egyptians make a small appearance. Exodus. They're not that important.
Let me
Really, this is a
see.
story about a magical wizard
Yeah.
Egypt
Yeah.
is
This is-
in line 5, and then appears in line 8.
Stop! You're getting ahead of us,
Okay,
Chris.
okay, Chris.
There's so many Egyptians.
But we had someone asking about Merlin on the anniversary stream.
Yes.
This is about as close as you're gonna get to a story about Merlin. All right, it's pretty much all there. He's got all the magic powers. He deals with all the supernatural things, and he deals with like kings and leaders of nations, right? Like this is basically Merlin's story for you Merlin person out there.
Yep.
All right. So let's get ready. I've got the King James Version here.
I've got the English Standard Version.
Holy Scriptures according to the Jewish Publication Society of America, etc.
And we have the Oxford Companion to the Bible that we have only used once, usefully.
Useful,
Yep.
right.
Yeah,
It's
it was
been
only
there.
useful once.
It's been there for us in our times of need and failed.
Yeah.
Yep. Oxford, you really screwed up on this one.
Yeah,
Just-
come on,
you
Oxford.
Just Google, and it works better most of the time. I get some answers about what these words mean.
Yeah. My donations are going to Yale from now on.
Oh my god.
All right. Chapter 1 of Exodus. Now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah; Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin; Dan and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died.
Oh.
I wonder if everyone cried.
I am like, yeah.
Uh,
That was the first thought.
and all his brethren and all that generation. So they're all dead by now. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Too many Jews.
So
Jeez.
recently, Chris showed me a video by I Hate Everything about knockoff DreamWorks animations. And they did the Moses story in one of them. And they specifically mentioned in that video that the Pharaoh reigning over Egypt during this time was Ramses II.
Ooh.
So, what period is Ramses II from?
He is from about the 1220s BC.
So, from deduction, then, we can say that the Moses story is supposed to happen around 1240 or 1200 BC.
I'd like to note at this point that the historical records and findings throughout Egypt in its entirety during this era has no suggestion that there were ever any Jews in Egypt whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just a heads up there that
Right. This
history
is
says
in no way historical.
history says this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But history also says that a number of pharaohs never existed because we can't find where they were buried. So.
We have like records of plenty of pharaohs.
But the biblical account is a scientific record.
Oh shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially that part where the dude comes back from the dead and then ascends.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially that part.
It's just history.
I
so-
remember when I saw those people die and ascend. No, wait.
No way, that didn't happen.
They just died.
All right.
Oh, well.
So he's basically like, there are too many Jews.
Yeah, damn Jews.
Yeah.
He forgot how great Joseph was.
No, he didn't even
He
know
didn't
Joseph.
know Joseph.
How didn't, like, Joseph did some great deeds,
Okay,
though.
okay, but he didn't know Joseph. It says right there.
That seems so quick to have just forgotten him, but all right.
It wasn't quick. There were a bunch of
Their
generations.
entire
Fucking holy
generation
shit, Chris.
died. It was a long time
Keep
after
up.
then.
You know, they didn't do enough begats
It's
for
like-
me to be convinced that he was just forgotten. It must have been a long time. Anyways, please continue.
All right.
Make sure you guys keep a chat going in the comments.
Yeah.
We
I
like
try
when
to read
people are
them.
chatting.
So
Yeah.
I like to communicate to the rest of the group if there's anything interesting. Feel free and join the conversation.
Yes.
Come on.
And remember, we still have a couple days left on our mug.
Yeah.
So if you wanna get a
want
nice mug-
a late Christmas present for someone,
Or a New Year's gift. I don't know. Do people do those?
or a January 2018 gift to be given at some point during January 2018.
It'd be perfect for that.
Yep.
Is there anything in January of significance holiday-wise?
Oh,
I don't think
nobody
so.
cares about
That's
January.
the least significant month, huh?
Yeah.
No?
All right. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses.
So Ramses is the second then,
Yep.
right? Okay.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
So affirmed Jews multiply greater when you try to fuck with them. This is what's happening apparently.
Yep.
Weird.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick.
I guess maybe God just made them multiply more, remember?
Yeah.
That's the blessing there.
Yeah.
They still have that. Sorry, keep going.
And in all manner of service in the field, all was their service, wherein they made them serve, was with rigor. So basically, they forced them only into jobs where it was hard labor, and they weren't allowed to do anything else. And the king of Egypt spake to Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him, but if it be a daughter, then she shall live. So there's the commandment where he's like, kill all the boys
Huh.
that are
So
Jews.
So they can't
it's-
have a bloodline? I
Yep.
guess?
so right now it's like
They can't have a bloodline. They would have no means of giving any of their possessions to their descendants because of the way that all worked back then.
Yeah.
Is-
and
Except in dowries.
it's like the opposite.
Lesbian dowries.
It's like the opposite of what China's doing, right?
Well, that's not happening anymore. To my,
Okay.
well, okay. It's
Well,
They have a
culturally,
two-child
it's-
policy now instead of a
Whoa.
one-child policy. Oh, so progressive.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just saying that the girl thing where they put up a lot of girls for adoption or they kill them, it's illegal to do the killing part now. You can still put them up for adoption, so there are still plenty of poor Chinese girl rejects who
that
apparently being a
Angelina
girl,
Jolie can adopt.
well, anybody can adopt.
I guess.
No,
I mean,
specifically
she's
Angelina
adopted
Jolie.
like, what,
Like
50
four.
kids?
That's excessive.
Yeah.
It is a bit excessive. Yeah, I
I
would
mean,
I
it's
would
like,
have to
I'll
agree.
adopt this school.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure. That can work. I'm rich.
All right. But the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, Why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore God dealt with the midwives. The people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
Okay, so
Okay,
real
so-
quick, I just thought this was kind of funny. You could probably replace the word God with weather.
You could do that, but
It wouldn't make much sense.
it really wouldn't.
Are you sure?
So weather dealt well with the midwives. and the people multiplied and grew very strong.
Okay. And the midwives feared weather that he made them
Why would
houses.
they fear weather?
Oh,
Because-
shit!
That's why they need houses.
A warm day.
Oh.
Anyways, Lawrence, you take over for chapter 2 of Exodus.
Do either of you guys have, like, an introduction?
I don't have an introduction.
Yeah,
Do you have an
doesn't look like you guys have an introduction.
What does your introduction
That's
say?
interesting.
All right, my introduction to the book of Exodus. Exodus tells of God fulfilling his promise to Abraham by multiplying Abraham's descendants into a great nation, delivering them from slavery in Egypt, leading them to the promised land, and then binding them to himself with a covenant at Mount Sinai. Moses, under the direct command of God and as leader of Israel, received the 10 Commandments from God, along with other laws governing Israel's life and worship. He also led the nation in the building of the tabernacle, a place where God's presence dwelled among his people and where they made sacrifices for sin. Traditionally, Jews and Christians recognize Moses as the author, writing sometime after the Exodus from Egypt. Now, this is
old.
very interesting. This traditional view. When was this written, actually? Hold on. I'm actually very curious. What does it say in here? It should say in here, shouldn't it? 2011. Or wait, no. Yeah, 2011.
2011.
Which is really weird because, as we've discussed before, Exodus talks about the death of Moses. Now, how the fuck could Moses write about his own death while dead?
Well,
necromancy. They brought him back.
I'll tell you exactly how it happens.
Okay.
See, Joseph was able to divine things from God and tell the future.
So somebody else wrote it.
No. Moses,
Told the
also
future.
being a mighty wizard, perhaps the mightiest wizard in the entire Old Testament, also probably could have divined the future and told the story of how he would die. And he
Yes.
wouldn't want to present it in that way in his book. He would just tell them, this is how I die.
It's very easy to make anything work once you add magic into it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Although I would like to say that the current view right now is called the documentary hypothesis, where there were at least 4 authors. But like 200 years ago, everyone thought that it was Moses, and then people started realizing like a bunch of discrepancies between stories, how some stories would duplicate. Duplicate, or they would show up 3, maybe 4 times. And people kept bringing that up for hundreds of years, actually. But they kept like getting excommunicated and shut down. That view was really hated. So eventually, enough people spoke up that they were like, okay, maybe Moses didn't write this. And then slowly over time, Moses turned from the author of the first 5 books, the author of the Torah, to like over a span of 100 years, maybe 150, whatever, turned into a myth, because we now recognize Moses as being completely mythological.
Right, but it is still the 5 books of Moses. Because all these stories from the 5 books of Moses, the Torah, all centers around Moses. Deuteronomy and Leviticus and Numbers are full of retellings of things that Moses did and said. Genesis is just leading up to Moses. Exodus
They had to cover their bases, creation and all that shit.
So
Yeah.
Have you guys looked into Gilgamesh at all? Because he's also the other guy you could compare to Moses.
You could also compare Sargon of Akkad to Moses, not the YouTuber, the actual figure.
You could also
Okay.
compare
I was gonna say,
Hermes
man, I know, he's
Trismegistus to Moses.
could.
Oh, yeah. So just great wizards in general,
Yeah.
because we mentioned Merlin just a minute ago. So
Yeah, this
guy's the wizard. Even D&D probably took complete homage from this. So.
Oh yeah. Well, they're all clerics. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're all clerics.
Yeah.
Some people are actually wizards, though. Like, I think Moses later runs into guys who can also turn their staves into snakes.
And then the interesting thing
Yeah.
is one of the laws is you will not permit a sorceress to live.
Yeah.
But the sorcerers are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Had a holy shit episode on that. That was pretty funny.
All right. Chapter 2. Now a man from the house of Levi went and took as his wife a Levite woman. The woman conceived and bore a son, and when she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him 3 months. Okay. When she could hide him no longer, she took from him a basket made of bulrushes. What the fuck is a bulrush? Papyrus reeds. That's what it says here.
Okay.
Papyrus reeds.
That's nice.
Well, that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's native.
Egypt. Yeah. And what the fuck is that word? Daubed?
Dabbed.
Dabbed with a U? Okay.
Daubed? Could be.
Whatever. Daubed it with bitumen.
Slime, mine says.
Mine says
pitch.
slime and with pitch.
Mine says bitumen and pitch.
Bitumen.
Yeah.
New words, people. It means slime.
All right.
Or tar slime.
Yeah, like a fucking beehive or something.
Well, like what was used to put the ark together. They used pitch.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Watch that Moses movie if you want to see a boat made of an obscene amount of pitch.
Yeah. Holy hell.
They just went nuts on the pitch.
Noah movie, not the Moses movie.
Oh, movie, that's right. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. She put the child in it and placed it among the reeds by the riverbank. And his sister stood at a distance to know what would be done to him. Now the daughter of Pharaoh came down to the bath at the river, while her young woman walked beside the river. Okay.
Mine says her maidens.
Yeah, that makes more sense. She saw the basket among the reeds, and she sent her a servant woman, and she took it. When she opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the baby was crying. Oh, no fucking shit.
Yeah.
Mine says, "Behold, a boy that wept."
Mine says, and behold, the babe wept.
Yeah, no, pretty bad.
You remind me of the babe.
All right. She took pity on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call you a nurse from the Hebrew woman to nurse the child for you?" And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." So the girl went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child away and nurse him for me, and I will give you your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him. When the child grew older, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, because she said, "I drew him out of the water."
And this one says, "Called his name Moses."
Yeah.
That's
It's the
weird.
same thing.
I know, but it's just weird. Oh, I'm gonna call his name, and it's like she didn't name him. It's like she just called his name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand. This one says that she named him, though.
Right.
Which
It
would be
means
weird
the same
so late
thing.
in life. Okay. One day, when Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and looked on their burdens, and he saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his people. He looked this way and that, and seeing no one, he struck down the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. So he killed an Egyptian dude and buried him in the sand.
Yeah.
Oh, is this what the I remember there was an epic rap battle with Moses and who was the other guy?
I didn't see the Moses
I
one.
don't know.
Okay. Well, it was an epic rap battle between Moses and I forget who the other guy is.
Pharaoh?
And not Pharaoh. And one of the lines was something about burying a guy in the sand. So I guess that's what that was referencing.
I see. Well, hey, I see another subscriber. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
subs
Since we got
direct
10
to our
people,
sub list.
We gotta try.
Direct.
Yeah. Don't forget to check out the website and the T-shirts and the mugs. Just throwing that in there now because we're like halfway through Lawrence's part, which is pretty much the halfway point, I guess.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing I was going to say? Reshare this. Feel free to talk in the chat. We like hearing from you about how ridiculous this story is. But this is Moses, so I mean, have you heard that one before? I bet
I'm
not.
sure they've heard them.
It's new to so many people.
Oh, yes, I wonder what happens. This totally isn't the Superman story.
Yay, subs.
Alright, where the fuck was I? He just killed the dude. Okay. When he went out the next day, behold, 2 Hebrews were struggling together. And he said to the man in the wrong, "Why do you strike your companion?" He answered, "Who made you a prince and a judge over us?" Who made you the boss?
Yeah.
Do you mean to kill me as you killed the Egyptian? Then Moses was afraid and thought, surely the thing is known. Surely the thing is known?
That's what
Surely
so people know about his
Surely
his
this
murder.
thing is known.
Yeah. When Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and stayed in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. The shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and saved them and watered their flock. When they came home to their father Reuel, he said, "How is it that you have come home so soon today?" They said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and even drew water for us, and watered the flock." He said to his daughters, "Then where is he? Why have you left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread." And Moses was content to dwell with the man. It's really weird. So it goes from, where is this guy? You should call him over, to Moses is now eating with them.
Well, he helped him, and in return...
Right. Right. So it makes sense that he would, give a little in return.
Yeah.
But he asked his daughters to call him over, but there was no action of calling him over. Moses is just there now.
Well, I think it's implied that
people just poofed.
They always say shit like, I feel like this must be a different author or something was taken out at some point.
Of course it's a different author. We're in a different book.
That doesn't matter.
This one does seem extraordinarily different.
Yeah.
Its contextual feel is significantly less descriptive.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the book, though.
And more exciting things happen.
Already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already.
We got
Moses has killed someone and fled out into the farmlands, and there was genocide with killing off all the boys.
Yeah.
And I mean, we really did get like the Superman thing, where like they hid Superman in a ship and sent him off somewhere safe.
Yeah. Oh, there's another great comparison: Moses and Superman.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody OP. We got it. Any overpowered guy is Moses. That's fair?
Yeah.
A good guy, at least, probably, supposedly.
I guess.
All right. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses his daughter Zipporah. Okay, interesting name. She gave birth to a son, and he called his name Gershom. We've heard that word before, haven't we?
Gershom?
No. Not this way.
No? Okay. For he said, or maybe it was like a city, right? Or was that Gershom? Or Geshem or something like that?
It's close. There's something that's close.
Yeah, okay. For he said, I have been a sojourner in a foreign land.
Wow, mine's so much better.
What's yours?
For he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land.
Yeah, it's got that too. Yeah.
That sounds a lot more...
That's pretty cool.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
It's just epic.
During those many days, the king of Egypt died, and the people of Israel groaned because of their slavery and cried out for help. Their cry for rescue from slavery came up to God. So God didn't hear them before doing, they were probably praying and shit. And he was like, this is fine. But now he's like, this shit's getting annoying.
He's just the dog in the fire. This is fine.
It's too loud. You guys are getting annoying. What the fuck do you want?
What's going on?
We're reading Exodus.
Yeah, we're on
Exodus.
Exodus 2. Maybe we'll finish it someday.
Oh, fuck off. We know you're gonna take forever with yours.
It's possible. What if I just, like, slam through it? I think that's not worth it. Then we don't get to experience all the interesting parts in between and the nice dialogue we get. All right. So what else we got?
What we got here?
Moses' kryptonite must be peer-reviewed. What's that?
Archaeology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not space rocks he's afraid of. It's Earth rocks.
Earth rocks. Yeah.
And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob.
Did he forget for a while?
Yes, he was like, fuck, that's right.
It was doing something for these
I
guys.
was supposed to help these guys and give them a nation. Well, fuck, I missed out on like a bunch of generations.
Oops.
So God just didn't notice.
Yeah, he either didn't notice or didn't care.
Right.
He was
Does
blocking
he have
it out.
like an Xbox equivalent for gods
He
that
must
he got from the God market?
I don't see any way he couldn't have had an equivalent to an Xbox.
Well, okay, so
no, most Sunday schools are not like this. Somebody asked if this is
if this were
atheist
normal Sunday school, we
Sunday
would
school.
spend like a week just talking about like one thing that happened in one chapter and talking about how it shows how great
nice
God
it is. Yeah.
Or we'd tell you some inane story that has nothing to directly do with anything and describes some saintly nature of some guy, and then you're like, well, what am I supposed to get out of this? And then
Or maybe,
she's
hold
like,
on.
well, it teaches you X, Y, and Z morals about these things, and I'm like, but that's ancient, and some of them are like about pigeons.
Although maybe
and,
the
like,
guys,
who cares?
maybe the guy's asking if all of our Sunday schools are like this, where we read the Bible and then talk some shit about it.
No, he says I never went to Sunday school. Is it like this?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, Sunday school in all actuality is more about teaching moral lessons to children.
Yeah, it's really more about that.
Right, because secular education really doesn't have that. I mean, sometimes now it's getting more popular to have required classes for like sensitivity or whatever, but that's really not the same as having a moral education.
Yeah. Although I think with better education comes better morals.
Maybe. I mean, Machiavelli was pretty well educated. Donald Trump was a really great student in his business school that he went to.
Was he?
Really, huh?
I feel like I don't
Yeah.
You know, when he says make America great again, when you said he did really great, I think you're using that type of great, right?
No, he got good grades. He
paid off with the right people.
He basically
Probably.
faked bonitis in order to get out of going to Vietnam, though.
The fake disease for Futurama?
Yeah.
Or is bonitis real?
Bonitis.
He didn't call it bonitis.
I wish
My
he
only
said.
regret is forgetting I had bonitis.
Some kind of bone illness. Yeah. But basically, it was complete BS. He was just
That's,
like, oh,
that's pretty fucking funny, though.
Yeah.
I think we got a hilarious comment.
Okay.
Whatever begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. Checkmate.
Oh, there's no such thing as causation. There's no such thing as beginning or ending. There's no such thing as time.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about it that way.
That's all just relative terminology.
They're making a joke about the cosmological argument.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Is it a joke?
They said checkmate, so I assume it's a joke.
Checkmate, atheist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
done. We're done. He got us. I can't do it anymore.
Wow, I believe in time now.
Okay.
Suddenly, time.
So I was on the.
Locality makes sense. Oh wait, it broke itself. Physics found a way to break that. Anyways, continue, sir.
All right. Last line here. God saw the people of Israel, and God knew. So, yeah, he basically ignored them for a long time.
And God took cognizance of them?
Yeah,
Holy
he
shit,
knew.
that sounds so much cooler than
Cognition.
Yeah, but he took cognizance of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
he
came into
recognized
his
them.
mind. Mine
he got
says
them.
God had respect unto them.
Oh, that's totally different.
Yeah.
That is completely different.
Mm.
Wow.
So, Chris, you're
yeah.
reading chapter 3
On to
today.
chapter 3. Now Moses was keeping the flock of Jethro. Yeah.
Jethro, yep.
Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of, what is that?
Midian.
Yeah, and he led the flock to the farthest end of the wilderness and came to the mountain of God unto Horeb.
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 You know what's interesting? Mine says to the west side of the wilderness. West side.
Well, that's the furthest side.
Mine
Apparently.
says the backside.
Does it really?
Yeah, it says the backside of the desert.
That's great. That's great.
There's
So
a
this
lot
is the
going on in
shittiest
chat,
part
too.
of the desert.
Okay.
Nice.
And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out in the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burnt with fire.
Behold!
You know, one of the things I think that's interesting, and this book is pretty old, and we have the pretty old versions of them, but I still believe that the fire means that, it burnt with the fire. It's of a different color. It's like red. It's like the fall leaves.
Well, it's not really. It says, and the bush was not consumed, and that would imply that
It didn't burn.
It didn't
was
burn.
Just on fire.
It was on fire, but it wasn't burning.
Well, that's
And
the
you know what's
next
really
line.
interesting?
You're skipping ahead.
Well, it's the same verse in mine.
What's really interesting is that, like, the common thing.
Somebody needs to buy a Behold t-shirt with Lawrence on it. Behold! That's a great idea.
Oh shit, that's a great idea.
Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, we should also make direct t-shirts.
Direct.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. All right.
Behold, shit, that's a great idea.
Yes.
Behold!
So we'll get a shirt with Lawrence on it and saying Behold. I think that's a really good idea. Thank you,
Yeah.
chat.
Thank you. Although, anyways, back to the thing I wanted to point out, that in popular culture, this story has always been portrayed as God speaking through the bush, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this makes it clear it's an angel.
Yeah.
Well, whenever God speaks, almost every time
Almost
God
every
speaks,
time,
it's through an angel.
Right.
But right, what's coming next? It says Anyways, let me just read what's next.
Well, about the angels, I think it's interesting that God speaks through the angels, but they're also independent beings. Obviously, when you get later on with the Lucifer stuff.
No, not all parts of the desert are equally shitty. I'm sure some parts are nicer. There's underwater aquifers and stuff that naturally occur in different areas. So
And
I'm
then-
sure there are parts of the desert that are
Then
not shit.
one spot could be like an oasis.
Yeah. Anyways, the angels, basically, they're like sub-intelligences of God because they speak for him. But they don't speak on his behalf. They literally deliver his words.
Right. And because they are all different. They have different names. So you would assume they would also have different personalities, right? At
Yeah,
least to
and some of
extent.
them later on betray God, and other ones stay on his side. So they must have different ideals. And,
Yeah.
New King James,
No, this is just the King James.
King James,
English
English
Standard
Standard.
Version.
and Holy Scriptures according to the Jewish Publication Society of America, etc. That's what we're reading. There you go. We said that at the beginning, but I felt
But you probably weren't here for the
you
beginning.
probably
That's fine
weren't here
though.
for that, so that's what we are at.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm at 2 or 3.
You're at 3.
Am I 3?
Yep.
I didn't get to the and the bush
Yeah, he
was
didn't
not
get-
consumed.
Okay, and the bush was not
There you
consumed.
have it.
He looked and behold, the brush was burning, yet it was not consumed.
Yes, thank you. You wanted to get the behold in there. You can
I
have
did.
it.
I did want
I
to
mean,
get the behold in there.
And Moses said, I will turn aside now and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he did not, and he said, nigh hither? Really?
No, he said, "Here am I." You skipped the line.
I did? Oh, I totally did. That's why I was like, no, that's not right. Okay. And he said, "Here am I." And he said, "Draw not nigh hither."
So
Don't come here.
don't come
Thanks, book that's better than mine. Right. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. So what are shoes sinful or something?
Well,
Maybe it's kind of
in
like-
a lot of cultures to this day, you're not supposed to wear shoes in
In the
certain
house,
places.
like that too.
Like in Japan, you're not supposed to wear shoes when you're at school. Like,
Really?
Yeah, they have special slippers that they give you once you come into the school.
Also,
Interesting.
they don't hire janitors. They have different periods for children to clean up after themselves.
Yep.
Seriously, they're a weird culture.
That is weird.
I don't think it's bad necessarily.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm
It's
just saying it's
definitely different.
yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Definitely different. Okay.
But also because the shoes could potentially pose more of a threat to the ground itself. Like when you drive over something, it does more damage to the road than if you just walk over it with your bare feet.
No.
Right?
Yeah, there's a
and
man behind us, so pay no
Yeah.
attention to the man behind the curtain. It's in front of the curtain if you think
On the
about
curtain, yeah.
it.
Well, it's directly replacing the curtain. But yeah, I got Moses over there, and then we got this nice
Yep.
burning bush over here, and then some sheep where Chris is, because Chris is a sheep.
I guess I get
Actually,
to be Moses.
I was born in 1991. You're correct.
Oh, is that the year?
So was my dad, 1955.
Okay.
I was born in 1993,
I was born in '94.
the year of the cock.
Was that the year of the cock?
It was.
Yes,
It
yes,
was.
it was.
What was
the year of
what was
the cock.
'94? I have
I
no
think
idea.
it's a
Who
dragon.
gives a fuck?
No, I'm serious. I think it's a dragon. I'd have to look into that. I don't know the zodiac off the top of my head, but I really do
Me
believe
neither.
either you're a dragon or you're a mouse.
Diametrically opposed.
Which one would you?
You sound like an astrologer now. Either you're a good person or a bad person.
like these
Shit,
things.
this guy got me.
Like these things have any particular meaning. I've just been to the same Chinese restaurants that have the placemats enough times that I've seen it, and it's always
Ooh,
like, this will be fun. Let's see what you are. I'm like, I'm always the sheep.
We should get
I'm
Chinese.
always the goat sheep thing. What?
We should get Chinese after this.
You can get Chinese. It's Christmas Eve, dude. Nothing's gonna be open.
Chinese restaurants
Chinese-
are open.
yeah,
oh my
they are.
gosh.
Yeah, there's like what, 2 of them around here?
Whatever.
They're fine.
Feel like having
There's
some
the one
Chinese.
by Nicolay. That's pretty good. Anyways, come on. Let me finish reading
Yes,
this thing.
please.
Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, and the God. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people that are in Egypt, and have heard thy cry, or their cry, by reason of their taskmasters.
Like the guys
Whippers.
beating them.
Yeah. The guys
Yeah.
with
The
whips.
people in charge of making sure that they complete their tasks.
Yes, I'm aware, but I didn't know it could be one word.
Yeah?
Huh? That's fair
Certainly.
enough. I guess you can.
Like Beastmaster is one word.
Is it?
Yes.
Huh? Wow, I guess that was pretty old language. so-
You know, like
No,
the
they
card,
stole that.
Beastmaster's Ascension. That's one word.
They still do that to this day.
It
Chris.
isn't.
Yeah, it is.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How 100% sure are you?
99.
That's pretty close.
Like Battlemaster is one word, Quartermaster is one
Yeah.
word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I haven't read enough military
I
stuff.
think you haven't read enough.
Maybe you haven't read enough.
I mean, that's fair. Everybody could read some more.
I agree.
For I know of, hold up. For I know their pains, and I am come down to deliver them out of the land of the Egyptians, and bring them up out of the land unto a good land and a large, unto land flowing with
Flowing.
milk and honey. Seriously, the land of milk and honey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is from the Bible.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
You didn't know that?
I may have. I'm just remembering that now, though. I totally forgot. Yeah, I did know that. That's fucked up, though.
Most things that
that come from the Bible are fucked up.
I don't want to go there. Milk spoils, and honey is just sticky. Do you want to?
Honey's good.
honey's
Okay,
great.
imagine an entire plane from D&D, which is
No.
okay.
That's not what it would be.
A land of, okay, then just imagine a huge area coated with milk and honey. Wouldn't that, rancid milk, to be fair, it's just been there. Somebody just left a shit ton of it around, okay? Just imagine that. It's bad.
Where would the milk come from?
Where's the honey coming from?
Well, obviously from bees.
Well, then cattle, I guess.
You know what's
Well,
really
wouldn't the
good?
cattle drink the milk?
I mean, I understand what
And
they're
eat the
trying to
honey?
say, a land of bounty.
This
okay?
this is nothing we should be discussing.
I'm saying it's a land of bounty. I get it. I get what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
It's just,
Oh, you know what's really good?
why'd they phrase it
That
that
I
way?
need to try.
Because if you phrase things the same boring way all the time, no one would read your book.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they had corn earlier.
Have you guys ever had killer bee honey?
No.
That's a thing you can get?
Yes.
Shit, no.
I was watching a video by the Brave Wilderness. They did a video on the difference between regular bee honey and killer bee honey.
Yeah.
And apparently the killer bee honey is really sweet, a lot sweeter. So I might have to try that. Anyways, go on, Chris.
With pleasure. Where was I?
You were halfway.
Land of milk and honey. Under the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Pizarites?
Parasites.
And the Hivites and the
Jebusites.
Jebusites. I like Jebusites. It's J in mine, but and now behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me. Moreover, I have seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppress them. Sorry. Come now.
I have seen the redundancy.
I've seen the redundancy here. Yeah.
Mine also says the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppress them.
Yep.
That's stupid.
It's poetry, you plebeian. I know. I'm such a plebeian. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Only true patricians from here on in.
Okay.
Now, therefore, gentlemen.
So here's all these tribes they're reuniting with in the land of Canaan. That's now.
Well, not yet.
No, and they're not reuniting with them. They're just saying that this is where all these people are.
Yeah.
Right, they're going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Eventually, at the end of the book.
At the end of the book, they're going there. But he says he's going to help them get there. Anyways. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses said unto God, Who am I? You're Moses.
Keep reading. It's not the end of the sentence.
That I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt. Well, you're the guy talking to God and the son of all these other people, right? I mean, you're dumb. Anyways.
Well, he makes a good point.
He's like,
nobody's gonna believe him, for one thing.
Grab the burning bush and bring it back. He's like, look at this, I found God. I don't know, it might extinguish itself or something.
Or you would burn the shit out of your hands.
There's a part, if Lawrence, if you duck, you could see there's a way to grab it. You gotta get out of the way, Lawrence. I'm sure people will see. Anyways.
Do they see it? They probably see it.
I probably see it.
Whatever.
Okay, hold on. No.
Whatever.
No, but underneath there, there's clearly a point where you can grab the bush. So, come on, you can do it. Moses, I believe in you. You're a wizard, right?
I realized I could have moved to the side. I'm not going to move to the side now, but no, I could have moved to the side. Okay, I'll keep reading.
No, you gotta duck.
Fuck off.
Okay. Where am I?
12.
12. And he said, Certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be the token unto thee. And I have sent thee, when thou have brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve God upon this mountain. And Moses said unto God, Behold.
Behold.
Mine doesn't even say behold. Now I'm depressed.
sorry.
Mine has a capital B.
Yeah,
Behold.
me too. They like do this comma up here and a comma down there too, so it's just partitioned off. And it has a semicolon before that. Jeez, they're really going out of their way with that. When I came unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, the God of your fathers have sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. Oh.
Wow.
You know, that's deity.
Absolutely deep.
That's
is
Dungeons and Dragons level deity stuff.
I am who I am.
Yes.
Wow, good answer. That doesn't help me at all.
I now understand. No, it's brainwashing. Moses is like, I understand. Now.
Thank you for the tautology, God.
Let's see.
What we got?
We got people talking to each other.
Good.
I've lost track
I
of what's going
am
on.
glad they are talking to each other.
Me too. All right. So.
Well, I mean, it's the only thing it could possibly.
We're never
tell
gonna
him,
finish this.
because there's no way to compare God to anything which exists on an earthly plane, right? So the only thing that he could possibly say that would make sense to the humans is, tell him I am that I am, because he's the only thing which could possibly be used in reference to himself.
I mean, yeah, sure.
But he's already using the concept of identity.
Okay, well, he says now.
Well, now we don't have any more we's.
That's true.
You'll notice that I don't think from here on, after Genesis, they use we anymore for God.
Right.
So it is very clear that right now we're talking about one specific God, which is distinct from the rest of them.
Right.
All right. So this is I am, which is one of the gods from before.
Yeah.
And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. And God said, moreover, unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the Lord, the God of your fathers, and the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, hath sent you unto me. This is my name forever, but for and ever are separate. And this is my memorial unto all generations. Go and gather the elders of Israel together, and say unto them, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and of Jacob, hath appeared unto me, saying, there's a lot of saying. Everybody's saying everything, and it's just all over the place. I get who's what, but it's very irritating that they shift between them so frequently in these passages. I have surely remembered you, and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt unto the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the, what again? Jebusites. Unto a land flowing with milk and honey.
Right, so what I think is really cool, in the preceding verse, mine says that God said, I have observed you and what has been done to you in Egypt. So in this version, he's straight up lying, because he's telling them the words of God. But God was like, in the previous chapter, he was like, shit, that's right. Now he has to cover his ass, and he's all like, I observed you. I saw this happen. I wasn't ignoring you. Don't worry.
All right, and I'm on 18.
Yes.
And they shall hearken to thy voice, and thou shalt come, thou and the elders of Israel, unto the king of Egypt, and ye shall say unto him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, have met with us, and now let us go, we pray thee. 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to our Lord, and I know that the king of Egypt will not give you the leave to go, except by a mighty hand.
Right. So he won't agree unless you use force.
Yeah.
Right. Popeye is God? Question mark, exclamation mark.
Well, no, because Popeye needed spinach in order to become all-powerful.
Don't we all need spinach to become all powerful?
Wasn't he a
No,
sailor
we
man?
need olive oil to become all-powerful.
I don't know. I don't remember the rest of the lyrics to the
Popeye the
song.
Sailor Man,
Popeye the Sailor Man.
he fights to the finish because he eats his spinach.
Yeah, there you go. So he's not God. I'm sorry. You didn't find him.
Oh, he just
believe
has excessive tumors in his face,
And
his arms.
and he's had several major strokes, so he's like,
Yeah.
didn't
yeah, South
sorry,
Park, not South Park, Family
Family
Guy.
Guy.
Yeah, Family Guy did
Had
a
a
great
good
thing
joke
on that.
on
It
that,
was beautiful.
All right, where are you at?
Somewhere, I think
He's
you're
telling
at
them
20.
that
I'm at 20.
Oh.
Okay. And I will put forth my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst thereof. And after that, he will let you go. And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty, but every woman shall ask of her neighbor and of her that sojourneth, sojourneth in her house, jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, my favorite new word, and ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians.
you'll plunder Egypt.
Yeah.
So you'll take all the shit. All right.
Ta-da-ta.
So that is the end of chapter 3. So this is an entire setup for the entirety of Exodus.
Yeah.
So
That's one cohesive story as opposed to these many segmented stories that were mildly
in Genesis,
connected.
yeah, they were weird.
And you better like Moses because we're going to be hearing from him from here on
Yep, up
happened
until
in the
end.
Bible.
Did anything ever come of that? Him killing that Egyptian?
No.
He had to flee the country and
guess.
was gone for a real long time, I guess.
Yeah.
And he got married, right?
Yeah, I guess.
He got
Never
married
just
and
forget
had
about it.
children. Well, he was gone long enough, and the king at the time died.
That's right.
And Moses' brother now, adopted brother, is now king of Egypt. Right?
Wait, did it say that?
Well, because
It
no.
said something like that. I don't know if it said that.
so the Pharaoh's wife, right? Pharaoh's daughter. Pharaoh's daughter gets Moses from the basket, and Pharaoh's daughter adopts Moses. But she also had another son,
Wait,
didn't she?
Real quick. She had a real son, I think.
Yeah, she had a real son.
And I think he's the king of
And
Egypt, yeah.
Now he's the king of Egypt. So Moses had fled the country, and in the time that he's been gone, the previous king of Egypt is dead. His brother is now on the throne.
I really want to quick throw out, since we're done reading here, because we got 10 seconds or so lag, you guys feel free to ask some questions now. We're ready to take some end of show questions to whatever.
Yeah.
Feel free.
But
and
anyways,
I'm proud of our beliefs or whatever. It's fun. We all enjoy learning from those experiences.
yes. Anyways, you're saying.
But there was certainly enough time for him to get away with not having to deal with murdering this one guy that only one person saw him murder.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, a slave saw him murder this guy. He buried the body in the sand where nobody's ever going to find it. Okay? All right, nobody's going to find a body buried somewhere in the sand in the Egyptian desert.
Oh, hold on. Pharaoh heard about it too. It says, yeah, when Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to kill Moses.
Okay, so
But Pharaoh is gone now. It's a different Pharaoh.
Yeah.
The question is, is Moses Egyptian royalty? Sorta, by adoption, by the fact that, he was raised for a while by the queen at the time.
I mean, he's more of a ward of the royal family.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He's part of it.
He's part of it, but,
I mean, obviously they have relations of some kind. He was raised by them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, this entire thing that we read today was just a prerequisite for the whole story. He's like, you're going to travel for days, get to this land, and, get to the land of all these other tribes. And God's all like, so instead of talking to Pharaoh, God will, have all these plagues happen. He's going to push Pharaoh into doing this. And later, as we will see, he doesn't, it's not even like he's trying to make Pharaoh do something. He specifically hardened Pharaoh's heart.
Mm.
So
This person wants me to talk about Egyptian magic.
hold up. Two things right now were, how tall was Moses? I
have no fucking idea how tall
real
Moses is.
quick about that. And so why did he side with the slaves? Because he's a Hebrew.
Yeah, he's one of them.
He knew that, I think. I think he knew he was.
He was one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's siding with his people. Was he like a giant? I don't know.
It doesn't
Are you
say
a giant?
anything like
We
that.
know nothing about you.
Anyways,
You could be a giant. Oh God.
Egyptian magic. They had a very good understanding of what we would call astronomy. They could map out star charts very well, and they used that as the basis of an astrological system.
The Mayans did it better.
Yeah, their
Simpsons
calendar
did it.
ended. Egypt's still around, bitch.
Simpsons did it.
Yeah. So they used basically their astrology as the basis for
No fair. Moses was 1 inch taller than me.
a divinatory system, and I think one of the people who come to Jesus
10 feet.
later on
Jeez.
is one of these astrological divinatory wizards, right? Because they're wise men who can tell by the stars when something's going to happen. I think that has more significance in the New Testament. But besides that, they had a whole list of stuff that they did as preparation for the afterlife in the Book of the Dead. And Lawrence, you've read the Book of the Dead, right?
Parts of it.
Parts of it. Yeah, they have a lot of stuff connected with Thoth. Thoth wrote a lot of the classic spells for the Egyptians to use, and they had a really interesting energy healing system that they believed in, where everything was based off of sound vibrations. So in their buildings, like if you go into the Great Pyramid, even to this day, each room is set up so that if you do stuff in it, specific frequencies of sound go through the rooms, which were supposed to lend to various magical powers or healing abilities.
Interesting. Now,
Yes, if Martin Scorsese wrote a Moses thing that was directed by Quentin Tarantino, everyone should see that. Absolutely, I agree. But what else was there here? People say Moses was 10 feet tall, and that the one creationist somebody talked to said that the statues in Egypt were life-sized. That's
I've never heard that.
I mean, the Sphinx is life-sized, as in it's as big as it is.
Yeah, if you go to the Sphinx, it's as big as it is in real life.
You bet on it. It might have got a little smaller, but hey, it's still
It might have been bigger at one point.
bigger at one point. Doesn't explain why mummies were normal size. Yeah, or any other thing from that era.
Well, because the Nephilim were definitely still around with their goat heads and stuff, and they would be able to explain the Egyptian gods, right? They just believe in different Nephilim, right?
Yes, I'm gonna go with. You're looking for the answer. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What's
Well,
really
what
interesting?
would be the Judeo-Christian reasoning for other religions popping up, other than the things like the Nephilim being worshipped by people?
Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel?
Yeah.
So the pyramids are like a Faraday cage. What's a Faraday's cage again?
A Faraday cage?
Yeah.
Like it's the thing you get in, and fucking. It's like one of those cool experiments that they show all the time on TV. Like it's a dude standing in a cage, but then they have like these bolts hit it, but it doesn't actually go through. It just hits the cage and like travels around it and stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, that's cool.
Yeah, okay, but the thing is
That's a Faraday cage.
Ruben and I were talking about the fact that they have discovered batteries, effectively large clay pots with smaller clay pots made inside of them, where one layer was a mildly acidic fluid and the other one was a mildly basic fluid, and that there was a metal cap where the two of them could meet for an anode and a cathode that they met up there.
No,
and nobody knew how they charged them. That's the thing. They were like, well, what's the point?
I've never seen that, but I'll have to check that out.
Well, they've had tricks with electricity, magic.
Well,
supposedly.
yeah, like they definitely didn't understand it the way we understand it now.
I may not know how they charge it either, but one of the theories about the Faraday cage you were saying before is that somebody could put some jars like that on top of a pyramid or near the top of a pyramid, and it would recharge them because the whole thing kind of becomes electrified. It'd be very slow, but it would work. And you could do cool magic tricks with it.
Well, one cool thing that you see in a lot of occult shops today are these like orgone pyramids. Have you ever?
Sandstone can be a type of quartz.
Yeah, well, a lot of the Egyptian tools, tables and shit, were all quartz.
Most of the monoliths and the huge slabs that they made the temples out of were made from granite, I believe.
Yeah, but they sell these little orgone pyramids, and what it is, it's a mixture of different metals and stones, basically carved into a pyramid shape.
It's granite,
and
I believe. Yeah.
When you put your hand over it, you can actually physically feel the charge being projected from the top of the pyramid.
Well, you think of it as a huge grounding area where all the discharge from the nearby grounding has a pinnacle to come off of. So electromagnetically, it would funnel upwards into the top.
Okay.
And that works to a pretty shitty extent, but it would explain why so many cultures have pyramids. There's a ton of
some form of a pyramid.
Oh, they're all over the place.
Guys, they're really just landing platforms for UFOs.
Right.
Can we all agree on that?
That's got to be the
You know
logical.
what? That's got to be it.
It's aliens. Boom. No,
I mean,
no.
Ancient Aliens is on the
Aliens.
History Channel for
Oh,
a
shut
reason.
the fuck up, Ruben.
What about 1 Samuel, huh?
What
We'll
about
get
it?
to that
I don't
eventually.
know. I'm still paying up to the pages. It's as good as Ancient Aliens. So yeah, I think we're wrapping it up
We're
here.
almost done here. Oh, hold on, Chris, before you get too crazy. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to check out our website, MilwaukeeAtheist.com. We got forums on there, so you guys can chat it up, leave ideas. We also still have mugs available, so definitely check the link in the description to get yourself a nice mug.
And we have t-shirts available
We do have
still.
t-shirts.
These t-shirts. These t-shirts, it says
Milwaukee Atheist.
You know, on the back it says my T-shirt or my logo is
No,
or my
I
slogan.
left my slogan on my
I
other
left my
shirt.
slogan on my other shirt, and I'm bad at my own thing that I made.
Yes, you
You're
are.
bad at talking, Chris.
You really are. And
Right.
we got a great idea for a new shirt.
Yeah, I think that would be fun to make.
And if you would like
Bold.
a red "Make Milwaukee Atheists Again" hat,
Yeah,
we would maybe get some of those together.
yeah, because I think it'd be a pretty great hat.
Make Milwaukee Atheists Again.
Yep.
Oh, you missed the first part again.
Oh, that sucks. Sorry.
Well,
Well, you can definitely,
Tune in later. Well,
it'll be
it'll
up.
be here.
It'll
Obviously.
be up. You can tune into all of our past episodes
Yes, you
through
can. We got a
our
playlist.
videos tab. We do have a playlist.
Yeah.
And I think SmilwaukeeAtheists.com has a playlist as
Yeah,
well.
yep, all the videos are on there too.
Alright.
And
Oh yeah, check out the new "What Would Jesus Do" video if you haven't yet. I think that was pretty long.
yeah, it was like 13 minutes or something.
So.
Yeah, if you haven't already.
And if you like Japanese stuff, we made a mythstery on Japanese myth, and I made a armchair philosophy video on Bushido.
Yes. And also, if you haven't already, check us out on Patreon. Really, anything helps. We got some nice rewards for you. You could be on the show.
Thanks again to our biggest patron and donator, Pistiologist,
Yep.
and Chris Douglas.
Chris Douglas is our other patron, yeah.
Yeah.
But really, anything helps. We appreciate anything.
Yeah.
So,
Facebook and Twitter, too. Follow us on there.
yeah.
Or, now that we're ending it, it's a little too late to remind you guys we got the super chat with random animations for different amounts.
Yeah, too late for that.
But we may have a New Year's stream.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that would be fun to, drink or whatever and have a New Year's stream. It doesn't have to be in this room. It can be in any of my rooms. So, we got a couple sets that are close enough by. We can have a little party or something, play some pool, get that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
So, check that out next. Of course, check out upcoming Atheist Sunday schools. And
Until next time, happy Consumer Day!
you love it.